Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of the Guyz podcast. I am Coach By Rory, and who do we have here?
I go by the name of Steph,
aka
PUMPVISION,
and we are back. What are we discussing this week?
Well, my friend,
What?
I went over the footage and it seems as though you saw it again. God
What did I
damn!
say?
You got jokes. What, you thought you could catch me out like that? Oh, no, I'm too skippy.
You got to try, innit?
Way too skippy for that. All right, guys, we got the forfeit, of course. Let's bring it to the table.
What am I doing?
Today, I'll have you do biceps. We'll keep it light, something easy.
What's light to you? Because I don't train arms. Look at your arms. Bro, they're 260s, bro.
People, just so we know, I don't know about the aspect ratio, but his arms are bigger than my arms. So
do camera. No.
Let him do his biceps first.
Do camera. More.
So, obviously, that's not going to be enough. So what we're going to ask for, we're going to go for 5 reps.
Step back so they can see.
5 reps on the alternating curl. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. 5 on each side. And then you're going to go 15 reps on the EZ bar, reverse curl. Just pumping it. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. As you can see, squeeze is the vibe. Go on, bro. Easy.
Done. Alright, no more swear words from me. Alright, this week I want to discuss something, but first, before we do that, happy birthday, Steph. That's for you, my friend.
Thank you, bro.
No worries.
Love for that.
Get out of the way early, even though you just tried to hurt me.
Love for that as well, that flavour.
Yeah, I know. I know who I'm working with.
We're not going to plug this.
Nah. Alright, this week I want to discuss... it bothers me a lot, this one.
Go on.
Fitness classes.
Okay.
There's a lot I want to unpack on this one.
All
right. The lack of investment from instructors, the lack of knowledge from instructors, the type of classes that instructors deliver with poor form, technique, all of that stuff. Class attendees, I want to discuss on. You lot aren't safe either. There's just a lot I want to unpack because it's a very big market.
Huge.
Now,
Huge.
I think the numbers are something silly, like 58% of gym goers across the UK are female, and 88% of that following of that 58% hit classes. So look at that small pool of women that touch the gym, but the big pool that go to classes. Now you can safely say, in the gym we're in, majority of the women go classes over anywhere else in the gym.
Yep.
So,
what's the first thing then?
I'm going to go instructors.
Okay.
They're the best people to touch on first. I don't think instructors know as much as they should do.
Agreed. They don't. They 100% don't. And it's down to, it's obviously down to the individuals, but a lot of the, have you been on a course before to learn a class?
Yep, many.
A lot of the courses are really bad.
Yeah.
And really basic and really they don't go into detail about anything.
It's relied on common sense of what you've done on your level 2.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that's the thing. That's the other thing. And don't get me wrong, I don't not agree with it because everyone should have it, but you should have more than a level 2 to teach a class.
I agree.
Because there's a lot of kind of skill knowledge you'll need to know and witness and be able to see from afar happening prior to it happening than your level 2 will ever get you.
We could actually, we'll do this at the end, but as our tip of today.
Actually, hit a tip now because we missed one last week.
Okay, good shot.
That I did see. So just hit someone with a fitness tip now.
Okay, quick fitness tip. Before you do any weightlifting, warm up your core. And your weightlifting will go way better.
Okay, my fitness tip. Let's go with when you shoulder press, and I'm going to try to get this patented. Rockstar press.
Okay.
Thumb, little finger. Thumb starts at your shoulder, in line, little finger finishes.
Ah, seen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Rockstar press.
Okay.
Here, so if you can't see on camera, thumb starts at shoulder, push back, little fingers in line with shoulder, back down. That's how you shoulder press.
Because that's how you flex your shoulder.
Yes.
It's not actually how you see people pressing.
So that's my fitness tip of the week. But anyway,
Wicked.
back to fitness classes and the lack of experience and knowledge that instructors have. Now, don't get me wrong, I teach a few classes, but I refuse to teach classes I don't believe in. I've had many arguments with fitness managers, general managers over my years, but that's just me. I know what I can bring to the table, and I won't sit at a table I don't agree with. It's as simple as that. Now,
Makes sense, right?
people can say that's arrogant, whatever it may be, but if I don't physically agree with it, there's no point in me teaching it because the members aren't going to be happy with the service that they get. So if you want your members to be happy, don't put me in that class. And that's just me. Some people aren't brave enough to say that to whoever they need to say it to, but they also can't bring something else to the table
as well.
Counteract it. But I would say a lot, my biggest, again, it's going to be like a pet peeve, is I ain't going to say the brand name. I used to work with them.
Is it a big brand?
Yeah, it's
big class brand.
Yeah. We know
you know who
we're talking about when we're talking about them, but less is more. Them classes, they're great for sweating. They're terrible for building anything that you want to build.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to a class. If you don't have an idea of what you're training for, classes are normally not the answer. The reason being is cardio in most forms doesn't respect what weight you lose. Water, fat, muscle, it will all go. It doesn't care what it takes, it will take it all. Now, if your goal is to lose weight, that's great. But you don't know what weight you're actually trying to lose. You're trying to lose water, fat, muscle, like you don't know. And we don't expect you to know. That's what a PT's for, coach, whatever you want to call it, that's what you should be kind of educated on. Now, if you're doing a weight class or a weight-based class, the high octane side of it, I believe, shouldn't be done with a heavier weight.
Yeah.
I've experienced those classes. I can lift weights. I'm strong. Lifting those weights to a time at a speed that they want you to, at a tempo they want you to, you're asking for your back to be blown out.
For the amount of time as
you're
well.
asking your back to be blown out. And I tell you, my back was finished. And I can deadlift a lot.
What move was you doing?
Deadlift. Into back squat, into bent over row.
For probably like 2-3 minutes.
It was like, so it's 45 seconds on, 15 to 20 seconds off, 45 seconds on, 15 to 20 seconds, continuous. So you go through that cycle and you
15 to 20 seconds, that's gone as soon as you move the bar,
but
reposition.
Do you want to hear where the problem lies?
Go on.
Oh, you're a big man. You can do more.
Yeah. Typical teacher.
That's the problem. No, that's not the answer. That's not this is not what you need to be saying, because this is where your insurance needs to kick in.
Yeah.
Because I will be coming for it. Because my back is now torn because of this stupidity. You're pushing me somewhere I don't need to be going. There's a difference between pushing someone and breaking someone.
I don't think you should be able to teach a class unless you're a personal trainer.
So you need a level 3. You need a level 3 minimum.
Yeah, because it's like, I guess class teachers are just not built to even care about.
No, I would say core classes, your basic run-of-the-mill classes. Anything that's a 20-minute class, you can have your level 2. Anything that's 30 to 45 to 60, you need a level 3. Purely because there's going to be at some point real attention to detail across that time. Now, I teach a class, you teach a couple classes. I teach a couple classes, you teach a couple classes. the class I teach is to combat the class I don't like. Okay, from the company, I don't agree with their classes.
Okay.
So it's a weightlifting class. Same kind of exercises, but it's not based on time. It's based on sets and reps.
Okay.
Everyone,
people would be
yeah,
training.
everyone does a block. So it's the same. Everyone does the same exercises. If you get through it quick, you get through it quick. The quicker you get through it, the more rest you have. But the aim of it is to increase the weight every time.
Okay.
So even if 1 kg is an increase, I don't care what you put on the bar. If you complete the 12 reps, it was manageable or it was easy. It was one of the two.
Yeah.
You either
Either way.
Yeah, you either add it or you maintain. If you didn't complete the 12 reps, you drop it down. There's no pressure in the class to exceed anything that you can't do.
Okay.
So but that's the experience I have. I'm not having you leave without understanding the mechanics of the movements. To understand the mechanics of the movements, we take away all aspects of HIIT. When you do HIIT, your brain stops hearing and your ears stop working and you don't care because all you're trying to do is breathe.
Intensity.
Yeah, all you're trying to do is breathe. Don't get me wrong, in the weightlifting part of it, it's intense. But you can put it down and you can hear.
Yeah.
Because your lungs aren't going and your heart not doing. Yeah.
Jumping
all of that. So your central nervous system is tweaked, but it's not on complete DEFCON 1.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But for what's your view on the class you teach? You don't have to name it, just
if I have one similar one where we lift weights, my view on that class is I like it. I like the format. I've tweaked it to make sense to me, because that class actually, well, it says in the brief that everyone should be lifting heavy, but everyone can't lift heavy that goes to a class. Doesn't make no sense, right? So obviously at the start of every class, I introduce it, I explain the format. We basically lift compound lifts and we do HIIT training in between. But every round, I'll recommend guys should lift roughly this amount. But then on top of that recommendation, I give them an example of how they should find their weight. So I'll be like, for example, if it's a squat, I'll be like, guys should be lifting, let's say, average 40 kilos for this 1 minute. However, I want you to pick a weight that's difficult for 10 reps. Or I want you to pick a weight that's difficult for 8 reps or like that.
Yeah.
If it's a move you've done before. If it's a move you haven't done before, in the break, I get everyone who's never done this move to raise their hands. And that's who I focus on. Everyone else should have picked a weight based on their previous knowledge of doing that exercise.
The thing with the classes that we're discussing is a lot is relied on them.
Yeah.
Now, this is why the class I teach, I leave the writing on the wall so they can take a picture of it. They know what they've done for that workout. And then every week, only one exercise changes.
Okay.
And then that exercise stays. So there's only 4 different types. So for 3 weeks, you'll do the same plus 1 different. There might be a change in the exercise, so it's grouped. So it'll be back, chest, legs, shoulders, or full body. Then it will just move around. So for 3 weeks, you'll do the same exercise. It's for you to increase it.
And build it.
Yeah. Then we do something completely different. And that way, you're understanding what it really is to train in the gym, not in a class, in the gym.
It feels like you're doing a gym workout.
Yeah, because you might not have the confidence to be out on the gym floor. That's fine, but you're building the confidence in that class. So that's where the problem I have with instructors is, again, we've spoke about this before in previous episodes, level of care.
Yeah.
If you don't have the level of care, it shows. If you don't take pride in your class, it shows. Yes, you have a kind of a formula that you need to teach and follow, but every formula can have your own flavor and style to it. As simple as that. If you're going completely off track, that's different. You have a rule to abide by, but you can make it into your own. And if you're not doing that, you don't care enough. And if you don't care enough, don't teach.
This is what, so like when I'm teaching, let's say I'm doing class training with
whoever,
the fitness people that work beneath me, I would always explain the concept of the class, the format of the class, but then the key element is that you pick moves that fit within the concept that you agree with. Like moves you like, moves you can teach. Don't teach these moves.
No, that what you just said. Moves you can teach.
Exactly.
Not show, teach.
Teach. Coach.
To the actual bare minimum detail. To the actual maximum detail. To the point where your foot has tweaked position, so it affects how low you can score. This is what I'm talking about. If you can't do that, don't teach that move. Because the moment they do something in a class environment, it's normally at a higher tempo, they're going to hurt themselves.
And it's pressurized.
Yeah.
Because people are comparing themselves to each other in a class. There's pressure, peer pressure.
And it's brought on by themselves, but it's just natural. It's the environment you're in.
Yeah.
As soon as you're around people, So, all right, cool. I teach a competitive class. So,
like a CrossFit style.
Yeah, like a CrossFit style. But the thing with that is, I've gone and experienced these classes firsthand.
Kind of what to avoid.
I've taken other people's programming, tweaked it to how I think it works best. And then what you'll find is people complain in the class because it's hard.
Yeah.
But they come back next week.
Because they know it's a hard, they can't motivate themselves.
Yeah, they can't do it. So, all right, there was this class I taught. So the class was what it was. I taught it for what it was. And then I tweaked it straight away. After the first time I taught it, I was like, yeah, this can improve. But the people that design it can't improve it because they don't experience classes like that. They don't go to classes like that. So they don't know what's going to work better or what kind of gets more out of people.
Yeah.
So I've completely revamped that class and made it a team-based class. So you're doing the same workout, but you're going your team versus their team. That creates a different atmosphere.
Each individual.
And then inside your team, everyone's spurring each other on. Now you've got the full social aspect of it. That's mainly what a class is for, is the socializing part.
Facts.
If you can't talk to people in a class, where's the social side of it? You just see each other's face and you just nod at each other every week. That don't work. Class I've got, they've now got a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
They go out for drinks, all of that stuff. They go to that class so they can
do
go
the
and drink.
class by themselves when there's no one there.
So it's like this is the level of where I don't care about the WhatsApp groups. I don't care if you go out for drinks after. I care about what you've done.
Accomplished.
Yeah, like if you've gone to this class, and I always say to them, how was this in comparison to last week? Because it's always good for me to know what pockets I can change of the class to improve it.
Thanks.
So the feedback from the consumer is always required on my side, but I won't get feedback from anyone. I'll get feedback when I look at the class from people that really put it in, because those are the people that are invested in the class.
And they'll be getting the most from it.
Yeah. So then when they come back, they're like, oh, you chopped that bit, blah, blah, blah. And you get the slight differences, and they're like, yeah, this is what I like. I like this class. And if you can do that for one person every couple of weeks, you're into a winner.
The madness is, I didn't even know. Well, I know some people don't teach a great class and whatnot, but it's only when people come up to me, they're like, oh, it was really good that you explained this. I'm like,
standard.
What? Am I just gonna be Hitler? Like, just do this, do that, do this, do that, move that foot that way, and know why. You get it?
Yeah.
I'm coaching you in a way where you can leave the class and do the same move by yourself. That's what I'm trying to do. Like, increase your knowledge. I even talk about nutrition in my classes, like,
but you need to
rests and stuff.
You need to, because you have an audience, and you'd be doing a disservice.
Yeah.
But this is where it tied into our previous conversation about personal training. If you care about fitness, the money is not the issue. The money will come wherever it comes. It's the care for the people. Because now if they're doing something wrong and they're gaining something, or they've just taken one thing you've said and applied it to life and they've seen a change, you potentially have a new client, because he gave that to me for free. Imagine what else he's got when I'm paying him.
It's the whole thing of adding value.
Yeah, and that's a major thing where I just feel like a lot of instructors, whether it's PTs or not, this goes for everyone and anyone, you're not looking at the bigger picture. Now, if it's money and you're trying to teach a class based on money, cool. How are you going to develop this class into the gym not paying you a one-off fee per person paying you? That's a big changer, because people go to gyms, people have gym memberships, And people pay extra for boutique classes.
They do.
£10, £15 a class.
Easily. Even on ClassPass.
Yeah,
If you figure it out, I mean, if you
break it down. Yeah.
it works
Basically,
out.
yeah. So if there's a market out there, but you're not tapping into it because you're not kind of developing your skills and upskilling your class, even just how you deliver things, to how you communicate, to how you ramp up the exercises in certain areas but bring it back down in another, to explain, and just general coaching. That's a major key. So a prime example, the class I took on board where we work, you know what class, the main one, because I looked at when I first did it, it was female only, because I looked at the gym. There was no females downstairs in the gym at all. And to me, that's a problem. Majority of, I'd say 70% of my client base is female. Always has been. I train probably 15 men a year, max. Okay. Max. And that's in sporadic, because most male PTs, most male clients are short term. Yeah. They've got a goal they want to get to, and then that's them. And then they kind of understand, and they get the kind of drive, and then that's it. Some are long term, but majority are short term. So I looked at it and thought, the gym's empty for females. Why is this? It's a confidence issue. Yeah. So what can I teach them for confidence? How to lift weights. So 6 weeks from body weight to squat rack. That's literally the class. Lifts. All main compound lifts. Now, if I didn't care, I would never have identified this issue. Yeah, of course. And if I didn't care, I wouldn't have been able to deliver on this issue. Well, you started to plan it. Yeah, plan. Execute. Thinking how it was going to work, because it's not being taught in a quiet gym. No, it's being taught at peak time on the gym floor in a small space. But I've got to make it work and make it inclusive to everyone that's on the class, where it's not they're just standing around. It worked. Now it went from gyms paying for it to members paying for it. It's easily transferable because the value's there, and they know that I care, and the reviews from the previous, and the extra that I do for them that is on offer. It's not just a class, it's an experience, it's a course that you learn from. Yeah, it's actual coaching. Now, if I didn't care, and it comes down to it again, or I wasn't invested in fitness the way I am, then I wouldn't have that. I would just have a normal run-of-the-mill class. It would just do the numbers that turn up, but you can't teach specifics on sporadic people turning up. Yeah, because it's always different people. You need the core of your class to turn up for it to work. Otherwise, you don't know what you're teaching. Now, if you don't have a core following, something's not right. You got to build it up. But all right, you say you've been teaching a class for 8 weeks. If you do not have a core following, something's not right. Yeah, definitely. You need to see at least 4 of the same faces. And one of the big problems with classes is teachers not turning up to classes. It's going to be really hard to build a following if you miss a class. Even if it's one class. You miss one class, that could be the 1 week where this member that had such a great time brought 4 of their friends, plus the other one told John from down the road he should roll this time, and you called in sick. You got to be consistent, man. 6 weeks. If it's a 6 weeks course, you got to be there for all 6. All 6. I've been there for everyone. I don't miss it, and if I know I'm gonna miss it, they know in advance. Yeah, time. Now with those kind of classes, you can create a communication group, because it's an intimate class. You have access to all of them. True. You can just say this is this. So in that class, there's homework videos. I send it over to them, or they have access to a private page on my website. They can now look at it. Wait, sorry. Bear in mind, you don't get that with classes in general, right? Just so you know. So like, differentiate. Yeah. Your team. This is different. This is a higher upper echelon of class delivery. But that's because I care. Because I don't specifically to that class. If you don't tick off that box from the previous week, you cannot move on to the next week. So a lot of the onus is on you to come to the gym at least once, and all you're doing is the stuff we've done previously. You're not doing anything new. You're just doing what we've done previously. Because then when we go to the next week, I just say, everyone done their homework, quick refresh. Yep, you've done it. Yep, you've done it. Yep, you've done it. Cool. We move on to the next thing. If you try to cheat your way through it, I'll know. So I'm just giving you the tools to succeed, because like I said, the aim of the class is to get you in here. If there's no homework, you don't build that confidence coming in here over the 6 weeks.
Exactly.
Now, a lot of the people that done the previous ones are down here training or upstairs training. They're doing more than what they did. They start to ditch the class. Now, pulling this on to my other thing, as I said before, if you don't know what you're training for, classes aren't the answer.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of trying, you want to lift weights, you want to tone muscle, but you're hitting all these HIIT classes, these cardio-based classes.
Your energy is coming from burning away your muscle, your fat, your carbs.
So when after 8 weeks, when you've lost that weight, but your skin's loose, you're still holding fat everywhere,
not toned like you wanted to be,
but you're like, you did all this work and all this mad effort, and it's like, for what? No, it's not for what. You put in that effort, you showed you can do it, but you didn't do it the way you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Now, this goes to particularly to members. Ask for help. There's no shame in it. It won't even cost you anything.
Just ask questions.
You'll just get the information and then you do what you want with it. It's not a selling point of view. It's just, especially even, you know, and it goes, whatever gym you're in, find the trainers that care.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that will give you the answers. That's it. They will give you the answers, and it doesn't matter what the question is. And if they don't, they'll find out. They'll come back to you at another point. They're the ones that care.
There's no panic. Like, people always, obviously we live in like a very fast culture, innit? Like, people always panicking to get the info fast. Like, if you speak to someone and they don't give you an answer where you feel like they care, on to the next.
Yeah.
Like, wait till the next time you come back in the gym. Have a chat with a different PT. Like, pick his brains or her brains. See what information you can get. Take your time with it, man. It's you. You're trying to develop. So at the end of the day,
what about putting on like an information workshop, like a drop-in, 20 minutes of an evening?
That could be good. That would be very good. You can just theme it around different areas,
and then that way, the upselling of it, you have an avenue for whoever's the specialist in whatever week it is.
True.
They can come do that, bounce, or like a Zoom call. So if you can't even get to the gym, it's just all done virtually.
That's a good idea, actually.
Like little things like that. But those are the things that, that's the little things where I say people that care. But anyway, back to the classes.
You listed some stuff at the beginning. I forgot.
Members, instructors, class delivery, certain brands not adhering to health and safety.
Yeah.
It's just high octane, get as much done as you can. That's why we have to combat it with
and no one ever promotes rest. No one ever promotes rest.
It's because it's like what you said, we live in a society where it's just now. If you're doing a class, if your class isn't designed for that, what you're going to do is you're going to hit a wall very quickly. Your central nervous system is going to shut down. If you're
storing, holding on to things, panic mode.
If you're doing, like, let's say you're doing a class with a barbell and some weights, you're better off doing with no weights and just use the barbell. Eventually, it's going to catch up with you, but you'll make it through the class. Then the next week, add 1 kg and just keep going that way.
Progressively.
Don't listen to anyone that's telling you to load up a bar because it can push you harder in the session. That's fine. But tomorrow, when you're trying to go to the other class you want to go to, you're not going. As simple as that. Because your body's telling you what you're doing.
That's right.
You want to be able to exercise, you need to be able to perform optimally daily for everyday movements.
Yeah.
If your training affects that massively, you're doing something wrong.
Agreed.
As simple as that. And this is just for beginners. Like if you know what you're doing in your experience, then DOMS is DOMS. Like that's part of it. There's a difference between DOMS and injury. You need to understand the two, because pain is not pleasure
at all,
and pain doesn't reflect a good workout. But again, these are just gems that we're just dropping. People can collect them as we go.
I'm thinking, is there one more thing? There's something you said triggered time.
What?
Something about classes.
Members.
Members.
I can start this one while you think of the other thing. Members, please do not complain about what's being delivered to you if you do not understand the programming of it. Ask why.
Yeah, just ask.
Don't say I'm not doing. I'm not doing doesn't help you, because you're digging your heels in. That trainer, especially if they care, has planned a program for you to achieve what you need to achieve
for a reason.
For a reason. It's not just random exercises chucked together. They work in tandem. So downing tools doesn't help the trainer, you, or the others around you. Bearing in mind, you might have an influence on these people. If they're already thinking you're down in tools, they might just follow suit. You don't want to have that negative effect. You don't want to be the negative one that that's what you're viewed by the people or the trainer. You just want to be someone that comes, gives their all. If you can't do something, that's fine. We can regress it. If it's too easy, we progress it. That's how it works.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah,
for sure.
But if you, all right, trainers, let's just float back to trainers then. You need to be able to know how to progress and regress every exercise.
And identify who needs what.
Early. If you can't, again, please stop teaching.
Please.
Like, just say you don't know, so don't teach that move. Only teach moves you know how to progress and regress.
Facts.
And that comes from me being in this industry. What am I doing? 15 years. Let's say 15 years. Yeah, 15 years. Yeah.
You're getting on, aren't you?
Relax, bro. Did I not just give you a birthday present?
You did, but no one knows what age that's for.
All right, cool. We're going to keep it that way. Yeah, all right then. We're the same age. Either way, I've been around long enough to know and identify. No, you know what thing? As we said before on previous episodes, science changes. So things change. So what worked yesterday might not work today.
True.
But I'm aware enough to see when people can't do something, when people need that little extra, and when instructors aren't good enough for a class.
I just remembered. So Mark, the one thing I was going to say about the members was, guys, please, if an instructor's asking you a question, let's say, how difficult was that? Or should we lower the weight now or up the weight? You have to be honest and respond. But be honest. You've got to be honest with yourself, man, because oftentimes the wrong amount of resistance is just going to hinder how you're lifting the weight, or hinder your exercise. If you're trying to, let's say, build your glutes or tone your thighs, that weight could hinder you being able to do that. So you got to pick the right weight so that you can actually focus on the movement in the right way, and then you'll get the most out of that class. So be honest with yourself is very important.
I would say, just to tie up this, response is the biggest thing as an instructor we need. If someone asks you something, respond. Even if it's a nod, shake of the head, something. Acknowledge the instructor, because they're asking you something for a reason. They're not picking on you. I can only speak for myself, but I'm not picking on you. I'm just asking for feedback so I know what to tell you next. I can then go, okay, this person, they can't do this. They can't do that. Lighten that load, go back to basics. That's the instruction I'll give you next. But if you don't respond, or you're not honest, or there's no line of communication, how are we supposed to know you're struggling if you're hiding it every time?
Boy, agreed.
So we don't forget this week's fitness tips. We done last week's ones earlier.
Okay. Supersets, drop sets,
giant,
giant. These are all advanced training methods, okay? So you don't need to attack those types of sets whilst you're a beginner. Learn your movements, learn your muscles, then superset, drop set. Do you know what I mean? Take it to the next level at that point. Don't jump into it. You'll get a lot more toned. You'll get a lot more muscle mass if you just learn your movements first. So tip from me, learn how your muscles move.
What's my fitness tip for this week? Give me a body part. Let me do a random one. Legs.
Side right. One.
If you RDL and your lower back hurts, you're not RDLing. You need to RDL and your hamstrings are loaded fully. That's when you're RDLing. I repeat, if you RDL and your lower back hurts and your hamstrings are not loaded, You are not RDLing. You are lifting, you are deadlifting from your lower back. You are asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Do not ask for trouble. Just ask your hamstrings to work. Simple. I'll give you a quick demonstration.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So, hamstrings are here. There, loaded. Up. Feel it. Lower back should be like a table. When I say a table, you should be able to put a bottle on your back. It should balance, drive up. Simple as that. You do not need to be touching the floor because you're going too low. Here, ankles to shins is your range. Up and lock out. Simple as that. And on that note, we are out. We'll see you next week. Comment, like, subscribe. I've been coached by Rory.
Pump Vision.
Peace.